Odds are related to probability, but they're not the same as probability. Let's take a look at the difference. Welcome to Math Bytes. I'm Allison, and today we're talking about the difference between odds and probability. Let's start with a definition. E is an event in our sample space S. An E bar is the complement of event E. In other words, not event E. So, for example, if my event is I draw a heart out of a deck of cards, then the complement to that event would be I don't draw a heart out of my deck of cards. So the odds in favor of my event E is the ratio, the number of ways E can occur to the number of ways E doesn't occur. And the odds against my event E is the ratio, the number of ways E doesn't occur to the number of ways E does occur. So you can think of it like this. The odds in favor compares the occurrence of your event to the non-occurrence of your event, whereas the probability compares the occurrence to the total number of possible outcomes. Let's do an example. A six-sided die is tossed one time. Let's find the probability of getting a 3 or a 5. All right, so our event E1 is equal to getting a 3 or a 5. What is the number of ways that can happen? How many ways are there to roll a 3? 1. And how many ways are there to roll a 5? 1. So the number of ways that our event can happen is 2. Now, what is the total number of possible outcomes? When I roll a six-sided die, how many possible outcomes are there? 6. So the probability is equal to the number of ways my event can occur divided by the total number of possible outcomes. And in this case, that's equal to 2 over 6, or 1/3. Okay, so now let's find the odds in favor of getting a 3 or a 5. All right, so again, my event is getting a 3 or a 5. How many ways are there to do that? 2. How many ways are there not to do that? If I don't get a 3 or a 5, I could get a 1, a 2, a 4, or a 6. So there's 4 ways not to do that. So the odds in favor of getting a 3 or a 5 is the ratio 2 to 4, which is the same as 1 to 2. Now, what about the odds against getting a 3 or a 5? How many ways are there not to get a 3 or a 5? 4. How many ways are there to get a 3 or a 5? 2. So the odds against is equal to the ratio 4 to 2 or 2 to 1. Okay, take a look at this. If the odds in favor of event E are A to B, then the probability of event E is equal to A over A plus B. So let's go back to our example of tossing a die and getting a 3 or a 5. Now, we found in our last section that the odds in favor of that are 1 to 2. So in this case, A would be equal to 1 and B would be equal to 2. So according to our formula, the probability of that event occurring is equal to 1 over 1 plus 2, which is equal to 1/3. And that's exactly what we found out in the last section when we did the example. The concept of odds really isn't that complicated, but it is easy to mix up with probability. So just remember that the odds in favor compares the occurrence of your event to the non-occurrence of your event. And the probability compares the occurrence of your event to the total number of possible outcomes. That's it for this episode of Math Bytes. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel. And if there's something you'd like to ask us, just send us an email. We're at contactmathbytes@gmail.com, and we will see you next time.